A message for my people.
Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah. Now this the black sheep, sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing
Not
to
forgetting
lose.
it.
It's been a while since we got a nice fist in.
The Fist of Fury.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Veterans Minimum, the number one sports betting vibe on the internet. I'm your host, Nick Dais. At Nick Dais10, as you can find me. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. We blew out today, bro. Look at us.
Yeah, I know, dude. Toss up them C's. You
my
better
goodness.
watch out. You better watch it.
You
No,
gotta
seriously,
be-
there's glass windows next to us. Like, we're in serious trouble.
You
If
gotta-
people in all red pull up right now.
you gotta be
It's
careful.
not good. It's not good.
Get caught in the wrong hood, bro.
That is true.
GGs, LGs.
You know, but I smoke a lot of weed like Snoop, so I'm covered.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's part of the reason why this is a Snoop inspired outfit today.
All right. We'll see if that helps you if you're ever in trouble.
Yeah. The people of Compton love me. They absolutely love me.
Dude, real quick, housekeeping notes. January is the biggest month in the show's history from a download standpoint. And sound like a broken record, but thank you all so much. Thank you, George, for
Yes.
coming on the show. People are appreciating you and enjoying you on the show every time that you're supposed to be on. When you're not on, I'll get hit up and be like, yo, what happened to George? I'm like, it's fine, got other obligations, couldn't make it. Shouts to his brother.
Yes.
Hogs, baby.
Hog Nation.
Hog Nation. We're
Woo
here.
Pig Suey.
So, yeah, man, shout out to everybody resharing, reposting. It goes a long way. If you repost something from the show or any content creator that you support, if you repost something and then 2 or 3 people start fucking with it,
Hey.
it goes a long way. If you do that often, that's why I say everything I consume, everything I purchase, everything I do is peer to peer. Like, yo, you got to go check out
Word of
that-
mouth.
Yeah, you got to go check out this new restaurant. Me and my girl loved it. Or, yo, these new sneakers are coming. Well, sneakers I would know on my own, but like this new series on Netflix, you're into Narcos and this
True.
Colombian cartel shit. You got to watch Griselda. Just finished Griselda. Great movie. Sofia Vergara, great girl.
Oh, wow.
I mean, Mount Rushmore kind of stuff.
Now I'm going to watch it.
Now
Look
you
at
got to
that.
watch it.
Word of mouth.
Word to mouth. So that's what I'm saying. And you guys are the biggest cosign. The people that do listen to the show, please just be resharing, repost it, tag us, retweet us, the whole nine. And
Yeah,
then I
man.
have another pet peeve.
Yeah.
With all that being said, the nice stuff. The amount of people that have hit me up and their DMs and they're like, bro, I bet on Kelce for Super Bowl MVP when you said to do it.
Yep.
I'm like, hey man, can you tag the show? Get no tag.
Okay.
Don't DM and tell me that, bro. I'd rather you just not DM and tell me
Yeah.
and just tag it. Like, because we're going to see it. I'm going to repost it.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate it. And I'm super grateful for it. I'm being a little silly, but I'm also being serious. It's like, yeah, I get it. You're sending it to me, but it's just so much better if you like tag it, bro. Like, that's the whole part. It just goes a long way, man. And as
So,
a content creator,
yes.
that's the best.
It is. Couple of points to touch on. One, if you're like a person that gives money to homeless people, you also need to be the person that shares people's content. It's one and the same. We're giving, right? So that's the first part. The second part is a lot of people are social media illiterate, like really bad.
Mm.
So what I'm recommending you do is you screen record how to tag yourself and then just send them that video. Just be like, hey, I think you should check this out. And they're going to watch it and they're going to think like, oh, wow, man, you're making it so easy for them. And so now, you're turning a pet peeve into a teaching lesson.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because
I like
there's a good deal of people out there that like you ask them to tag you in the story and they just use like the text tag and they don't do like the mention that looks nice and you could change it colors and stuff,
Mm.
So Spice it up for the people.
Spice it up, man.
Your social media content, by the way, great. You're like one of the few people that I've ever met in my life where you get the January files. You know what I mean? Like you get to see your life in a full scope, and it's not just like the show. So you're doing a great job at that.
Thanks.
Now
man.
let's just add this to the repertoire.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you how to tag me, and then I want everybody to practice by tagging me right now. Imagine that.
Whoa, that's a good one. Dude, I also kind of like, I'll randomly go on these like tangents or just go on these rants for like everyone's benefit in like the content space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like there's so many people that hit me up and they'll ask me about, and I sound like one of those infomercials, you know, when like a girl is like promoting this new like lotion or something, like so many of you have asked me. It's like, nah, I don't think that many people have asked me. But no, when it comes to content, a lot of people will hit me up and they'll ask me about like, dude, you know, you're posting so much. Do you ever care? Do you think it's too much? It's like, nah, I think it's not enough.
Right.
Like, I think this is your Instagram page. I was having this conversation with your guy, John Orlando.
Yes.
We were talking over the weekend. Shouts to John. We watched the game together, the Niners-Lions game. And we were having a conversation, and he was like, yo, are you on any of the dating apps? And I was like, nah, I got Instagram. He's like, you're right. I was like, yeah, bro. Instagram is your resume, it's the new business card. I mean, it's been the business
it
card
shows
for a
what
while.
talent you have.
Yeah, it's the first line of communication in many situations. You meet a girl out at a bar, she's way more likely to give you her Instagram because then it's a cheap follow.
Correct. Then her phone number.
Right? It's
And
phone
you don't
number
even,
is a lot
you
more.
don't even want her phone number anyways, bro.
Yeah,
because
like-
you want to see what she's done.
You heart a couple
who
of
she's been
stories,
with.
right? You heart a couple stories,
The hearting of the stories, gentlemen.
and then you comment. You know when the best
chef's kiss.
You know when's the best part to comment on something? When it's food,
Mm.
when it's their animal.
Yep.
Oh my God, I have a dog too. Do you really? As a matter of fact, I do have a dog now.
Dog park?
That's
Question
it.
mark?
You never comment when she's in a bikini, when she's out drinking with her
Yeah.
friends. You gotta, you know, like, come on, man. Free game. We've been doing this for years.
Yeah, you got to be subliminal.
Yeah.
You got to be there, you know, maybe
Yeah.
add to a close friends. Oh, that's like, all right. Some people are ready for that. The liking of the stories feature.
It's the poke of the.
It's
you
yes.
weren't around for
No,
poke.
of
though.
course I was around for poke, dude.
Come on, bro. How old
Yeah.
are you again? 26?
I'm 25.
25.
Yeah.
Dude.
But the poke, I mean, dude, I had a Facebook when I was 8 years old. Very irresponsible.
Yeah, but like
for Farmville.
you wasn't like in the trenches though. Like I remember, dude, poking in Facebook. You would poke,
You weren't in the trenches,
Bro.
dude. Yes.
dude. You would poke. They'd poke back. You poke again. They poke back. Then it's a message, and it was like batting 1,000.
Yep.
This thing always worked. It was the best.
My one of my favorite
And
things
that
to
now,
do.
that now is liking the story, and then you
Yeah.
gotta slide like that, you know.
There's nothing like going through like a good Facebook album. You know, like you could tell like if a girl's like organized, right? If she's got, you know, California Vacation 2008, you know?
August.
Oh, yeah. like
She might have went
it's
there
your
a couple
January
times.
files, but just
Yeah.
like albumized. That's nice. Those same girls though are the ones that have the perfect highlights on the Instagram now.
Dubai 21.
Oh my gosh. By the way, are you a fan of the highlights?
I love the highlights, yeah.
I need to do it. I don't like it.
So here's the thing. I also never open them.
Yep.
I have a couple highlights, like a couple funny jujitsu stuff, a couple stuff from the show, the dog now. But what I think it does is whenever people ask me to see the dog now, I'll just send them the highlight. So then you'll
That's
have a
good.
bunch of different photos, or I have one for It Is What It Is whenever I make an appearance on that show. So I have a couple highlights, a lot of my sneakers too.
Mm,
So I'll just have I have this thing called Good Feet.
nice.
So
nice.
like I have one of those, but for the most part,
I've yet to make that list. Do you just do it with random people? That'd be hilarious.
what?
You just see a nice pair of shoes out in public. You're just like,
Oh no,
That's
no,
going
no,
on Good
no,
Feet.
no. I post like my own outfits and,
Yeah.
and like my sneakers.
start doing that with other people. Though. That's pretty hilarious.
That'd be fun.
Just be like, go down like floor level.
Dude, one time
Snap a
this guy
photo.
was wearing Flint 13s. It's my favorite Jordan. It's like the blue, it's like the royal blue Jordan.
Yeah.
We were out at a bar. I was just staring at his feet and I never like saw him. Right. I just was like looking down. I was like,
Wow.
mean mugging his shoes. And I look up, the dude's 6'9",
Jesus.
neck tattoos and all that. He's like, yo, why you keep looking at my shoes? I just go, good feet, bro. Thank God I had Jordan 11s on. He's
Wait.
okay.
You just went for the fist bump like this. The fist bump should have been like this.
It was, yeah.
Good feet, bro.
Good feet, bro. Dapping me down and then patted me on the head. Yeah.
One day you'll learn, buddy.
All right. We need to get back on track.
Yes.
I hope you guys appreciated the dating advice from George and I on Veterans Minimum.
Yeah.
We got the Super Bowl coming to Las Vegas next week.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just drove by the stadium today. It looks amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did they do anything different? I drive by it all the time.
They got the signs up. I think they have like the big Lombardi trophy like covering one side.
Okay. Isn't it hilarious? That it's an AFC West team
Mm-hmm.
playing the crosstown rival in the stadium.
It's the ultimate.
It's the best. It's the best troll job ever.
Yeah.
Like if I was the script writer,
I
would look at the city that the Super Bowl is in and be like, what would anger the fan base of the home stadium more than that? Right? It's the Niners. Shout out to the Bay Area. It's the Niners going up against any of the AFC West teams,
right?
Especially the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's the best.
Yeah, no, that's I didn't put the two and two together until just now because I always like connotate the Raiders for some reason like with like Los Angeles. Like lately I've been like skipping over that they were crosstown rivals. But here's the thing. I mean, San Fran doesn't even play in the Bay now. Like they play in San Jose. Just kind of whack. But,
yeah, that kills it.
Yeah, the stadium on the water was sick. That shouts you're a part of the Bay. The Oakland Coliseum, relatively close to the water. But yeah, no, that sucks, dude.
I want to talk a little bit about the storylines for the Super Bowl because you've probably heard a bunch of them already. You'll probably be tired of hearing of these by the end of next week. There's a couple obvious ones, but George, I also have some like fun ones. And I think a storyline that has nothing to do with the two teams, which is my personal favorite storyline. There's a Super Bowl in Vegas, bro. Think about how big the Super Bowl is every year in general.
Yeah.
And how many people actually come to Vegas just to be in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Even when it's in Arizona, it's in Miami. It's just a place it's like March Madness.
You were here last year?
I was.
Did you go to a sports book?
No, I went somewhere to watch the game, but even just the atmosphere of being here
for
Saturday.
A gambler, bro. Oh, it gives me chills thinking about it right now.
Oh my God.
Long lines, the prop sheets, 40 pages big, you know, it's awesome.
So I think that's a really cool thing, both as a native now of Vegas, a lifelong degenerate gambler, and just a fan of football, having the three come together. Because, dude, it wasn't too long ago, bro, that the NFL was so against gambling.
Oh, I know.
Don't you dare mention the point spread on the game. Don't. So they would have little loopholes around where, I think that the Chiefs are going to win by 2 possessions.
Right.
Me, as a listener at home, I look at the line and it's like, oh shit, George said that they're going to win by 2 possessions. The line is 6.5. Bam, he likes them to cover. George might say, oh, I think it's going to be a tight game. I see it being a field goal either way. Oh, maybe we take the plus 6.5.
Right.
But don't you dare say that, oh, the Chiefs are 6.5 point favorites against the Raiders. No, you'll get fired.
Yeah.
And now every team has a partnership with a sports book. Every team has players that endorse a sports book, whether it's DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM, whatever it might be. And then you put a franchise in Vegas, and now you put the Super Bowl in Vegas. I think that's my personal favorite storyline of this game.
Yeah. And not only just the Super Bowl, right? Vegas did it in a way, Nick, where it's almost like sports overload in Las Vegas. I mean, you're talking about Power Slap. You're talking about a UFC card. You're talking about Live Golf. And then you got the Super Bowl. And it's like this perfect culmination of all these big time events happening. And it's like Vegas's version of doing ecstasy. Like that they're going to be peaking on Sunday. Like it'll be the coolest thing that has happened in this city ever. And there's been lots of cool things.
I mean, yeah, we just had Formula One here.
They keep just one-upping it, right?
Yeah.
So one interesting storyline to tag along to the Super Bowl being here is the whole gambling, like how they don't want any NFL players in any of the casinos gambling. I mean, with them saying that, though, everybody lately has been really comfortable with taking their phones out around the table, which was another thing that didn't exist until about 3-4 years ago. These guys are about to be getting exposed.
Oh, dude, let me tell you something. I'm not going to mention the player because that's not my thing.
We don't expose it.
Yeah, we won't do that. However, he's top 10 at his position.
Oof.
I've seen him at the craps table like 12 times this week.
Wow.
And just getting after it. And guess what? He's also at the high roller section, which is $100K to sit. I text one of my buddies who's a fan of this particular team.
Mm-hmm.
I go, yo, bro, listen, this is a scoop that Shefty can't get for you. His contract is up this year. When he asked to be the highest paid at his position, this is why.
That's so funny.
He's playing high roller craps at the win. You've seen a ton of them. And it's hard to police.
Yeah.
It's hard to police. But then again, it could also be easy if people are just walking by you and with their phone out.
That's the thing, dude. Yeah. Even in high roller now, like people will do it. Yeah. And so like that's a fun thing to tag along with it. All right.
Hold on. I want to stay with this. I want to talk shit about a couple cities. I'm going to list you the name of all the Super Bowl host cities all time.
Okay.
And I want you to just tell me if it was a dope location or lame.
Got you.
All right. Indianapolis.
Lame.
I agree. Though I was there and the New York Giants won the Super Bowl. So not lame from that sense. But if I was not a Giants fan, I'd be like, Indianapolis, bro? It fucking rained that day. This shit was whack. Okay. Dallas.
Dope.
Okay. Jacksonville.
I'm going to say no, because there's a better city in Florida.
Yeah.
That I would rather have it. So not dope for that reason.
Guess what? I went to that one too.
Miami?
Eagles, Patriots.
Wow.
05.
Yeah.
The city was not prepared
for it. You were a
it.
Super Bowl man.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best to ever do it. The city had to bring cruise ships to house all the people that were going to Jacksonville because they didn't expect that many people to be coming in.
Oh, my God.
All right, so we got that one.
That's wild.
Minneapolis twice, in 92 and in 2008.
That's a
2018.
Fail.
Yeah. Cold, bro. Mad cold.
Yeah.
Mad cold.
Not good.
Detroit twice. Pretty lame, bro.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, there's nothing that wows me about it. Was it back in like the good old days or like
1982 and 2006?
Yeah, no, lame.
New York.
Cool.
No, I disagree. It snowed that week. It was like 20 degrees.
I'd rather have that than Buffalo.
Right.
So,
okay. Shouts to Buffalo. Actually, not shouts to Buffalo. We're done with Buffalo now. We were with Buffalo, but now we're not. They're an op.
Ignore the blue, all right?
Ignore the blue, yeah.
I would say New York's pretty cool, but you're anti-New York.
Yeah. For the Super Bowl, I did not like it. I also
too stuffy. I feel like there's not enough room to do cool like events like out in
that's you bring up a good point because one of the cool things that the Super Bowl cities do is they have the NFL experience or they have like a section of the city that's for memorabilia, autograph signings, 40-yard, whatever it might be. They did that in the middle of Times Square. It's like you're not making it. It's not the place to do it. It was just too crowded. It was a lot, and also I didn't like it because like I blew out my knee a couple months before that. So like getting around sucked too. So maybe I'm a little sour there, but also I have this beef with MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, where it's literal trash.
It's trash, yeah. And you put it there in a cold city. Just it was not fun. Let's continue down the list.
Yes.
Atlanta.
Atlanta's cool.
Cool, yeah.
Yes.
Party city. I like it. Houston,
Um,
kind of down with Houston.
yeah, I would say no, just for the sole fact that like I would like Houston now, but probably not when it happened.
Houston in 74, 04, and 17.
17 might have been pretty dope.
Yeah.
Those
San
first years,
Diego,
yeah.
like San Diego.
Yes,
Nice
yes.
weather. Yeah. Phoenix. Now we're getting to 4. They've hosted 4 times. Phoenix.
Yes, because I would say when I think of Super Bowl, that Glendale Stadium is next level, bro. Yes.
96, 08, 15, and 2023. Tampa, 5 times.
Amazing.
Yeah, Tampa's good. The greater LA area, 8.
Yeah.
And they've announced in 2027, it'll be in SoFi.
In SoFi?
Again. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's lining up. So who would that hurt the most? The Raiders will be in that one. Mark my word. If it matches up the way you think it is.
New Orleans next year will be their 11th.
Yeah, because
New Orleans, yeah, Mardi Gras.
Talk about that's one of the top places to win a championship and then go out and just get wild.
Talk about a fiesta for real.
Oh my God.
Just mad booze and
Just
beans.
beignets and bitches.
Bayou?
Yeah. Yeah. The Bayou. The good old
Yeah.
Bayou.
And then, of course,
Put that on a cracker.
of course, the leader and should be the leader. The 305 Miami has hosted 11 times.
And now, Vegas.
Now Vegas.
Vegas will host it, I would say, over the next 20 years. They'll host it 2 more times.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
So this one plus 2 more?
It may be more, bro. It may be more.
Do you think so? Logistics wise,
Yeah.
it makes a lot of money for the city and town
Mm-hmm.
it goes to.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about it's like $1 billion in revenue.
Yeah. I would argue it's
Because
probably more.
what gets factored in is hotels, flights, restaurants, Ubers,
shows.
Shit, you name it, man.
Travel.
Bottle service.
Traveling around here that weekend is going to be pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Like Ubers are going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. So it's very profitable. And one of the things that the NFL does is when you build a new stadium, they almost certainly guarantee you a Super Bowl appearance within the next 5 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
They'll do it.
It's weird when they build. That's another beef that I have with New York is that they build MetLife Stadium and then they have a outdoor stadium.
Yeah.
It's like make it a dome. Because then if it was a dome, they'd go to New York all the time. It's the media capital on the planet.
Yeah. I mean, Buffalo will get one here in the next 10 years. Maybe.
I don't know, bro.
Do you think that's like,
Buffalo's a cool party town, college town, I should say.
yeah.
I don't know about hosting a Super Bowl.
Well, they're getting a new stadium. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's one of my big storylines there. Give me one of yours.
okay. Into the games.
Okay.
The Chiefs are playing with no pressure behind them. I feel like the way that this season is panned out, that they don't necessarily have that same like impending doom as the 49ers do. Like this means way more to the 49ers than it does for the Chiefs. And I think this is the first time in the Super Bowl run where it's been like that for KC. And that's a very unique free spot to be in. So yeah, that storyline number 1, like how the Chiefs are playing with no pressure to have to win it.
I don't know if I agree.
Okay.
You don't think the legacy standpoint for Kansas City means more than what legacy can happen with San Francisco? Because you're talking about if Mahomes and the Chiefs win,
Mm-hmm.
they're a dynasty.
Solidified for sure
Like,
this time. Yeah.
This will be 3 titles in 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid gets his 3rd Super Bowl. Mahomes gets his 3rd Super Bowl. Kelce gets his 3rd Super Bowl. The Chiefs get their 3rd Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're talking about, is Andy Reid the greatest coach of all time? Because Andy Reid, like when I think of Andy Reid, I think of a coach, I think 10-6. Like at worst, 10-6. And I'm sure he's probably had an 8-8 year.
Right.
I'm sure he's went below 500 the last couple years in Philly, and then they got rid of him. But I just think if I got Andy Reid, dude, remember Kevin Cobb?
Yeah.
Kevin Cobb got paid because of the couple games that he started there. Alex Smith, all of a sudden, was like the year before Mahomes became the starter. Like Alex Smith was like gunning that shit all over the field.
Yes.
And this is a guy who then the influence that he's had, all the coaches under him that became head coaches and successful, you start having that conversation. And
Correct.
then Mahomes has his third ring in 6 years. Is he the GOAT? Then if he gets to 3, bro,
yeah,
it's like, yo, we thought no one would be able to catch Brady, but this guy just turned 28 years old. He's probably going to play like the way he's playing now for another 12 years.
Yeah.
At this high level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where I think from a legacy standpoint, I would disagree with you that I think there's more pressure on them.
I think everything you just said proved my case, though, fully, that their statement has been made. The story has been written. They're doing things that have solidified them as the dynasty. Now, everybody on the West Coast has to deal with 49ers fans every single year talk about, no, we are the team that everybody should be afraid of. When in reality, they've fallen short in the last 2 NFC championship games. And then you have Kyle Shanahan, who, I always think in a sense he's comparing himself to Sean McVay. Sean McVay gets his Super Bowl. Now Kyle Shanahan is trying to match his partner who he was with in Washington. I think Christian McCaffrey has way more pressure put on him, because how many times can he be the best player on the team and lead them single-handedly to a Super Bowl, right? Brock Purdy has obviously got to prove that he's not Mr. Irrelevant. So, like, as far as pressure goes, the pressure is turned up to 1,000 for the 49ers. And I think the Chiefs, this is what's going to make them annihilate the Niners, is that pressure's turned up to such an intensity that those Vegas lights in the Super Bowl, bro, going into a Super Bowl how long it is. But I can only imagine Brock Purdy's first Super Bowl where he was like, oh, wait, we're taking another 3-minute TV timeout? Like, the whole rhythms and everything. So Mahomes and them
it's also
have
like
been
a
there.
45-minute halftime.
Dog, this is the first time in this dynasty run that the Chiefs are like, I feel. And that's what I meant by the storyline to kind of pay attention to, like how they're answering questions on Media Row compared to the 49ers. And I feel like it'll be evident, I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, that's a good point that you bring up as far as they've been there, done that, the expectations are different. Because a lot of players talk about when they first go to the Super Bowl, how it throws them off. Like a lot of the Bucs players were giving credit to Brady and Gronk for telling them, hey, man, don't peak 15 minutes after the halftime when we go into the locker room, because we got to wait another 30 minutes after that. Don't start stretching. Start stretching towards the end of it. It's little nuances like that when you've been to so many, you're more comfortable in that spot.
I just think there's so many players that have something to prove too for the Chiefs, where like the Niners, they've kind of proven like Deebo Samuels is that good. George Kittle is that good, but will they have the ability to perform? Like, there's only one ball in the field, bro. And I think sometimes when you have an embarrassment of riches, it makes it very hard for a person like Kyle Shanahan, which can I go into my second storyline? It kind of ties in with it.
Sure, good.
The second storyline is, will Kyle Shanahan finally show off his offensive brilliance? There's only one ball on the field. But he, in these past couple of weeks, really his entire coaching career, he's kept a pretty simple, straightforward offense. They're going to pound it down your throat, and they're going to run play action off of their running success. But what did you see the Lions do early last week with Ben Johnson?
Run.
Not only run, right? You had the double reverses. You had the flea flickers.
They got funky, yeah.
You had offense. I call that offensive brilliance because you know what the defense is trying to set up for and expect from you. Does Kyle Shanahan have that in his bag? Because there's moments in time where I just feel like the Niners don't get as crafty as they possibly could. So that will be a storyline that I'm going to follow closely as the game unfolds. Is he going to keep it status quo, or is he going to, give me a double reverse flea flicker on the first drive? Like, let me see you do something creative to get a first down that isn't outside zone.
I mean, bro, you're also looking to add to Kyle Shanahan. Like, this is his third Super Bowl in like the last 7 or 8 years. Remember, he was the OC with the Falcons, the worst comeback ever.
Right.
Oh, you're on the receiving end of the worst comeback ever.
Yeah.
And he's blown 2 of the biggest leads in Super Bowl history. One was the 28-3. And then don't forget, the Chiefs were down 20-10 in the Super Bowl against them in Miami. And then they had that crazy play, whatever they called it, like spider web or some shit. Maybe because it's a Spider-Man tattoo. I'm thinking that. But like, it's like a notorious
Spider 2, Y banana?
Nah, it's not that. But it was something where Mahomes like asked for it in the huddle. It's one of those NFL films clips that it's like Tyreek. That's where the Tyreek is down there somewhere meme started.
Yep.
So he was opposite of both of those, like on the receiving end of those great comebacks. So I think there's a lot to that too, man, because he is, it's always been about how he can make any running back shine, he can make any weapon shine, he can make any quarterback shine. But then there was always a ceiling on where he can take it. And now you got a guy in Brock Purdy who, again, I mentioned it on the Monday show. If you guys haven't checked that out, please check that out. And then also we have Teofimo Lopez. That episode dropped on Wednesday.
It's a good episode.
It's already up there. If you guys haven't checked that out, would love some feedback on that one and have you guys go rate, review, leave a comment and all that. But one of the things that I talked about was Brock Purdy, bro. Like, we know there's a couple obvious ones we haven't gotten to, but like, the celebrity dating, Mahomes, Andy Reid, but the fact that Brock Purdy in 2 seasons goes from the last pick of the draft to now he's in the Super Bowl, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's all about Mahomes. It's like you have the GOAT against Mr. Irrelevant, like the potential GOAT. And he's still getting criticism. And I heard Pat McAfee say something interesting because he kind of defended Brock Purdy. Because Shannon Sharp said that he's just a game manager or whatever. Yeah. It's like, man, you could see him walk on water and you'd say it's because he doesn't know how to swim. Yeah. It's like no matter what, it's never good enough.
Yeah. And by the way, Shannon Sharp took his statement back. I was watching like the nightcap after the game this past week, and he's like, a sports host can say something and then that athlete does something and it makes you retract your statement or kind of like rethink what you did. My Gridiron Junkies episode after the Packers was like, it was very hard on Brock Purdy because I felt a lot of the same things. Game manager, he was missing people in big spots. I still don't think he's like this superstar stud. However, he's kind of set a new standard for me. All right, Brock, are you able to get me 30 rushing yards a game in big moments, like where you can scramble out of the pocket and make plays? That is now what I expect from you. Yeah. That's what won you the game last week. I need to see you do this regularly and not, he has these moments where the passes that he's throwing in big situations are either falling short, they're going out of bounds. I mean, the whole momentum shift versus the Lions was an interception.
Yeah. Let me put it to you this way. You have 2 quarterbacks in this Super Bowl. When they drop back to pass, one of them, you're expecting a completion and a big play. The other one, when Brock Purdy drops back, bro, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yes, that's a perfect way to put it.
Where Mahomes, I know for a fact some good shit is going to happen.
And by good shit, we do mean that, like, even if the ball is dropped, it's in a spot where they can catch it or it's out of harm's way,
Or even his throwaways are calculated.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Like how many times have you seen guys roll out and go to throw it away and they like undercut it?
Yep.
and they pick him off, and then they're doing the toe tap, and they're like, "Oh, I thought he was throwing it away."
Yeah.
When Brock Purdy drops back to throw, I'm like, "Ooh, what's gonna happen here?"
So there's still that facet, right? And so to close my offensive brilliance thing, like I'm trying to think of a play I would really like to see them run. Maybe it's I figured Deebo Samuels used to play quarterback a little bit, right? Am I tripping?
Dude, one of my favorite bets to make, and I think it's cashed in like 4 of the last 6, is
How many people throw
Yeah.
in a game? That's
2.5.
money. Yes.
and it's always, especially
Give
when
me
you have
over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bro, you have like Travis Kelce, you have Debo, you have a bunch of guys that could throw a pass. Christian McCaffrey has thrown a pass.
Yeah.
Like, you got a lot of people that could do that. It's one of my favorite bets. I make it all the time.
I'm going over this year.
Yeah.
For
I can't
sure.
wait. Prop episode coming next week, and we have a very special guest for that one.
Nice.
I have a very special guest for that one. Okay, can I give you another one?
Yeah.
All right. Travis Kelce, win or lose, I think he's become the greatest tight end of all time. I think he's surpassed Rob Gronkowski.
That's crazy to say.
And I want to read you some numbers.
All right.
On the surface, who would you say whose numbers would you assume are better?
Well, you're saying numbers in like a broad term.
I'm saying, who do you think has more catches?
More catches, Kelce.
By a lot. They're both the same age, by the way. They're both 34 years old.
Yeah.
A big part of your success is durability, longevity.
But you
Being
also have
able
to look at the way that he's used compared to the way that Gronk was used.
Very fair. Very fair point. Yeah. However, Kelce is also I think I'd be underselling him if I say he's an above average blocker. Like, he's a really good blocker too.
Agreed. They just don't do it
Right.
like with him necessarily.
You're our number one weapon.
Right.
We rather you not chip on this DN and go and fucking run a route. This is
Correct.
what we rather have.
Correct.
So Kelce came into the league in 2013. Gronk came into the league in 2010. Gronk has had 4,000-yard seasons. 4. Kelce has had 7, and this year he was 16 yards short of having 8 straight. In my opinion, he basically had
you
8
round
straight.
up. Yeah.
He would have got it if they needed to. But he was like, yeah, I'm chilling. We're playing the Chargers. No one cares about this game. We're good. Touchdowns is where Gronk has him beat. 74 touchdowns for Kelce to 92 touchdowns for Rob Gronkowski. And then when you go to the playoffs, who would you guess has more touchdowns?
Gronk.
No. Kelce has 19 to Gronk's 15.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, narratives are so hard to spin, bro.
Right.
Because people are just, oh, he got 4 rings. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. It's like, he's not. Kelce's better than him. And I remember I shot a video for Veterans Minimum in 2017. I used to do the show with 4 other guys. And I said, yo, it was like the off season. So we'll do like, who's the best quarterback? Who's the best running back? Whatever. And I was like, yo, the best tight end is Travis Kelce. They all called me crazy. At the time, that was the right answer. And I think it's played out to be the right answer too.
Okay. You're saying, just so everybody's clear, statistically, it is Kelce.
Yes.
Okay. You're not working in the eye test. Are you telling me if you were to start a football team today and you have the choice of both of them to be on your team and you have to choose one to be on the field, who are you choosing? Running and just overall. It's going to be Gronk, bro. It's going to be Gronk because Gronk was such a physically dominating player.
Yeah.
Just like the same case I put up with any receiver versus Calvin Johnson. Sure, right? Stats won't ever line up for him to be one of the greats. But when you look at just physical specimens that you would want on your side of the football, I think it's Gronk. And not just Gronk. I'm picking a special Gronk. You know, they can get special abilities. I want the Gronk with the robotic arm.
Yeah.
The one that, made his, look bionic.
Yeah, you want 2014 Gronk, 16 catches, 204, and 3 touchdowns in the playoffs, Gronk.
Oh, I want
12 touchdowns, 1,100 yards regular season, Gronk.
Let me line you up on the 3-yard line out wide versus your best corner. You know exactly what we're doing. Stop it.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I'm not saying that the point you've made is perfectly fine, but you got to tell the people it's because of the stats.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But I need to work in the eye test.
The eye test. Yeah, look, I mean, I think about that Colts play where he has like 4 Colts on him and he's just shoving them out the way. But Kelce did it. Kelce did it in a more flashy, sexy way where Gronk was like rugged and like a savage.
Yes. And when I'm saying this, like, it's obviously you can't go wrong either way.
Because now Kelce has a lot of the postseason accolades too.
Yeah.
He has the 100-yard games. He has the Super Bowl rings, the Super Bowl appearances, and he still is the primary weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think like longevity got to play into it too, man. And I think with this Super Bowl, I think the conversation begins because, like,
he retires, right? He retires if they win the Super Bowl.
I don't know.
Because think about the way that Gronk's mind was.
Yeah.
Gronk did it. He thought at that moment in time, all right, there's nobody better than me that's perfect. Let me go kick for a field goal for $1 million every Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird.
I think he retires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something you'll be able to bet on too.
They're going to go out together. And with him winning the MVP and everything, that
MVP would be
wow
for the brand would be phenomenal.
Yeah. So that's I'm very glad that you brought that up because I didn't understand now how big of a separation it really is.
Yeah, and look, here's another thing too. It's a big part of your greatness. From 2015 to this year, Kelce has played at least 15 games a season. Where you look at Gronk, 6 games in 2013, 10 games in 2014, 15 games in 2015, 6 games in 2016, 14, 11, 16 for 16 in 2020.
Yeah.
And then he played 12 games in 2021. So like the body of work, a big reason why he separated himself is because he's available.
Yeah.
And I think that's also very important.
Availability. But see, like you even read off something like that and I'm like, damn, it even proves my point even more. Like this man was
He was dominant.
He was doing crazy work in a shorter amount of time. Can I hit you with my next storyline?
Right after we do Patreon, baby. Do you like that little segue?
There we go.
Let's give the boys some time to pull up the Patreon in the back there. But, right on cue. Who's better than us? Patreon.com/veterans minimum. We are at 75 paid members. Shout out to all of you. For as little as $1 American dollar a month, you can join the Patreon. $5, you get the betting picks, get access to the Discord, merch giveaways, shout outs, merch on discount, a lot of other cool stuff. And we're going to revamp the Patreon for the off season and then rebuild that towards the next football season. But on a serious note, the Patreon, it helps get a lot of things done for the show that you guys would not really understand, but like thumbnail makers and
which has been
graphics
lately.
Yeah, and like social media managers, like all this stuff, it goes a long way. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see all the tiers up there as well. But let's go ahead and do our roll call for the members of the Patreon. We got Mahul Patel. We got Abel Resin. We got Devin Rondon, Jordan Riley, Dylan Chadwick, Derek Platees, Christopher Velasquez. What just happened here? Daniel Gibson. We got, this shit just bugged out. Where are we? There we go. Jerry Shapiro, Jordan Riley, Mike Stevens, Mike Wozniak, Nick Crummage, Thomas Robinson. Thank you all for your contributions. Oh, Ben Kotzian too. Shouts to Ben. Ben was actually in the studio a couple months ago.
Nice.
Yeah, he was in town, hit me up, and gave him a little tour. So shouts to Ben as well. So yeah, big ups to the members of the Patreon. We appreciate you all. And thank you for the contributions. Okay, now,
Yeah.
George, you could go
All
ahead.
right, my next biggest storyline
Yeah.
is how many Patreon subscribers will Veterans Minimum get during Super Bowl 58? I think this is something that both teams are wondering, and I think it could be a lot. But in real talk, though, is Steve Wilks good enough to slow down KC? I think Steve Wilks has shown over the past couple of weeks that his defense is lacking, I guess, discipline. They've gone off to really slow starts, which is another like storyline. If I was to tag two storylines together, it's can the 49ers get off to a fast start? And is Steve Wilks good enough to slow down Kansas City? So I was going back in the history books, and Steve Wilks has coached against Patrick Mahomes one other time. I think it was in 2018 when he was with the Cardinals, and they lost 26-14. Patrick Mahomes had one of his like rather easy games, throws for like 262, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And now you get to play him again, knock in the biggest game that you've ever coached. These past couple of weeks, bro, and I'm not saying that like the Packers and the Lions aren't offensively superior, but it's like you went against two teams that haven't really been there that much, and now you're going against the greatest to ever play the game of football. Like, how do you slow that down? And so is Steve Wilks good enough? We'll find out within the first drive. I'm predicting this, and I think you might be able to put the play in. Travis Kelce to have the first reception of the game.
You could definitely bet that, yeah. The amount of bets you can make for the Super Bowl,
I mean, it's endless, right?
yeah, you have bro, first catch, second catch, eighth catch. It's
So that's I know
Yeah.
that's jumping into a prop, but I mean it goes to show Steve Wilks will have the opportunity to have to stop Travis Kelce early on. And I just know that Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are so crafty and good. You know Kelce's getting the ball. And so, yeah. Steve Wilks is also another coach that I feel I have not seen rip into somebody this year. And as a defensive coordinator, not a good look. Like, I need my defensive coordinator angry sometimes, I need a couple of like curse words on the sideline. Like, I'm not seeing him try to rally the guys. And I think it's crazy because I feel that the 49ers faithful feels that Fred Warner really is the defensive leader and not Steve Wilks. Like, as an overall.
Well, he's been there longer.
Correct.
So it makes more sense, right? Like, think about this. Ravens in the mid 2000s.
Yeah. Come on now.
What coordinator was going to tell Ray Lewis what to do? So yeah, I think Warner has been the best linebacker in football for like 4 or 5 seasons now.
Yeah.
And he's been there for so long. Like, remember, Robert Saleh was the head coach, was defensive coordinator. He left. And then D'Amico Ryans was the DC. He left. And now you got this guy, Steve Wilks. He'll probably stay another year, I would assume. But
yeah,
what's been the constant? It's been Bosa. It's been Warner.
It's
been those guys over there. So I hear what you're saying, but
you also don't hear guys backing him on the team. And maybe I'm missing it, but I feel like in past years, whenever there's been rumblings, like Fred Warner and D'Amico Ryans, to me, like embodied best friends. Like, that's not just your coach. That's somebody who really cares about you outside of this place. I can't say the same about Steve Wilks.
Okay. He has a tough task. I wanted to show a little bit of love to the other defensive coordinator because that's my boy Spags.
Oh,
Steve Spagnuolo. Yeah. Playoff Spags, baby. God bless him.
He's been dialing it up.
And yo, look, this has been the biggest storyline for the Kansas City Chiefs this whole year. It's the best defense that Mahomes has ever had in his career. And the defense, for the first time, it ranks like top 5 in the league under the Mahomes
Yeah, in
Andy
yards
Reid.
and in scoring.
So it's a different team than what we've seen in the past. And they're anchored by a lot of guys like Snead. They got Reed, Bolton at linebacker, obviously Stone Cold, Chris Jones.
Yep.
You got a lot of Karlaftis, Dirty Greek on the defensive line. They did lose one of their defensive ends. He blew out his knee in that game against the Ravens. But I think the defense for them is going to continue to just be the anchor of the team. So now Mahomes doesn't need to go out there and score 30.
Correct.
They can win games 21-17.
But I'm telling you right now, if the Lions can put up 31
I know.
versus the 49ers,
So my two
it's going to be ugly, bro.
So my two storylines kind of combine, right? It's praising the Chiefs defense because I think the real matchup for me, bro, is the Chiefs defense because it's been so good and the way how methodical Steve Spagnuolo is against this 49ers offense, because I said it last year when they got McCaffrey. It's the most versatile and unique offense in NFL history. A lead at tight end, two really good wide receivers. You can even make the case that they're great. 1,342 regular season yards for Ayuk, and apparently he was like 70th in targets.
That's crazy.
Or 30th. It was something ridiculous like that. It's like, holy shit, if this guy was like top 10 in targets, he'd probably break 2,000 yards. It was something wild. And his A-dot average depth of target is so downfield for him. Like, he's their big play guy down the field. And then you also have Christian McCaffrey, who, like, bro, McCaffrey wins the Super Bowl. I mean, if I'm betting the Niners side to win MVP, like, I'm betting McCaffrey plus 475, like, without a doubt. Because I feel as if even during, how about this? Maybe that's why the guy was wearing the McCaffrey jersey.
Whoa. It's not.
It wasn't the regular season MVP, bro.
It's Super Bowl.
It's Super Bowl MVP. We have to bet it now. Now we just have to.
Yes. And that will be the only 49ers prop I put in.
Yeah, I think so.
It's good.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think we should go in on a ticket together.
Oh, yeah.
So $50 each.
Yeah, dude.
We go, oh, easy, big guy.
Wait a second.
Hey,
I heard it saying the other day, you carry cash around because it ain't heavy. All right? It ain't heavy, dog.
I like
you can carry that cash around.
I like that. But yo, dude, what if that was the omen? What if the omen was, hey man, when you guys were talking MVP, I walked over too late. I really meant it was the Super Bowl MVP.
That's perfect.
It's been written.
It's been, not only is it written, because I feel like we're in the same wavelength of like the Chiefs. I'm going to put a lot of, I texted in the group chat. I was like, I am going to put an irresponsible amount of money down on the Chiefs.
Oh, I bet the Chiefs when I got the odds up. I got them plus 115 to win the game. Money line. Money line, not spread. I want to spread it.
No.
Plus 2. Good.
No. They're champs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll put in an irresponsible amount of money down on that. However, to hedge the bet, follow the omen, right?
We got it. That's the
and we'll
VM,
do it together, and then it's like a show.
That's the VM omen, bro.
And now that makes the intro. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. You recut it up a little bit. We get Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And then Christian McCaffrey comes in studio.
Oh. That'd be nice.
I would lie and say I know a guy, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we could find.
Yeah.
We'll be in Vegas. We could find. But dude, like this offense though, on a serious note, against his defense, I think that's a really compelling storyline.
And it's all about can the 49ers just withstand like running the ball like that long, because controlling the possessions hasn't necessarily been something they could do when they fall behind. And I think, bro, they've really been handed this trip to the Super Bowl. And they do have an ability to show us that, like, no, the 49ers are as good as we are predicting. But literally the past 2 weeks, if it's any indication as far as momentum goes, they're struggling. And yeah, that it'll be interesting to watch see if they continue with the run is what I'm getting with, because I think that Brock Purdy is one of those people that when he makes a mistake, he has that same look in his eyes that Dak Prescott has, where it's like, holy shit, I fucked up. Like, this is only going to get worse from here.
Well, I mean, dude, even if you watch that Lions game, right? He looked really bad in that first quarter. Lions jump out to 14-0. And the way they got back into the game, obviously, Josh Reynolds helped by not catching the ball. And then you had that turnover by Gibbs, but they got McCaffrey going.
Yeah.
And that's the logic behind why I think Kelce and McCaffrey can win MVP. Because what they mean to their team, and if you look at some of the playoff games, if the scores could be like that and they have those kind of box scores, they're the MVPs in those games.
For sure. For sure.
And I also, everyone knows this, I also don't bet the quarterbacks to win.
I mean, it's not, you don't get the bang for your buck. What's some of those running? Minus 150?
Nah, plus 130s, plus 170, 130 for Mahomes, plus 170 for Purdy. And I also
crazy
hear
that it's not minus money to me. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because it's not like,
because it goes towards the like who the favorite is,
right?
So like the favorite in the game, that's where the odds are there. But I just think it's possible, man. Like, dude, there's been defensive players that I've wanted too.
Yeah, would that be the field, or do you actually have a chance to choose Chris Jones?
You have to pick like Chris Jones.
That sucks.
Which, by the way, 110-1. Chris Jones.
Yeah.
$10 is a G.
But they need to score. That's the only way. They would need to score a touchdown.
2 batted balls at the line of scrimmage, 2 sacks, forced fumble.
Yeah, that's what sticks in everybody's mind, Nick, is that batted down ball, not a touchdown that Patrick Mahomes throws sidearm, fucking no look, just
yeah, you got me there.
Yeah. I mean, hey, trust me, I'm a football guy. When I saw Aiden Hutchinson this past week, first drive, just pum. I'm like, hey, it's a block party, brother. It's a block party.
Yeah.
And Aiden Hutchinson's invited. But it doesn't stick out with Travis Kelce is, I'm so glad you got him at 85-1, one of the VM viewers. You shared it on your story. 85-1.
And I actually...
Crazy.
We gave it out at 85-1. I bet it at 60-1, and now he's 12-1.
That's nuts.
It's the Puka bet.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have bid the odds that he was when we made that video. He shouldn't have. There's no way St. Brown had better Super Bowl MVP odds than Travis Kelce, who I just made the case as the greatest tight end of all time.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. And St. Brown is fantastic.
Ooh. I just thought of something that ties into my final storyline.
Okay. We'll go one more each.
Patrick Mahomes' relationship with his receivers. Might not be a bad idea to put a Rashee Rice bet in for him to win MVP. Because here's the thing. Out of all the players that you've seen play the quarterback position and all the media that they have to go through and all the scrutiny, for a good chunk of time at the beginning of the season, it was obviously the receivers aren't holding their weight, yada, yada, yada. They finished third most in drops for NFL teams this year. But you never saw Patrick Mahomes bash them, bro. He never once went against his teammates. And it's one of those things that I think Patrick Mahomes is kind of like a messiah in a sense, where he can trick these players into thinking that they're really good. And I think that they've completely ignored the media hype, but it's all due to every time Patrick Mahomes was asked that question, always had their back. And I know that's what teammates are supposed to do, but when you look back at history, there's a lot of times where
eventually
something
get fed up.
slips up, bro.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a Freudian slip. I didn't actually mean to tell you that, Patrick Mahomes never missed a beat. And this is the worst core group of receivers he's had in a Super Bowl. And I think he may put up 275, 300 yards. And if I'm the 49ers, there's no way Travis Kelce's beating me. So give me Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be one of the things that it's a storyline that's written after the game when the Chiefs win. Patrick Mahomes' relationships with his receivers is unlike anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hear a lot of people will say instead of betting the Chiefs to win, just bet Mahomes to win MVP. And there's nothing worse than that, bro. When you're on the right side. Like, it happened to a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
He picked Stafford to win MVP, and he didn't bet the Rams because the Rams were the favorites.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams were like a 3.5 point favorite. I think like minus $1.80, $1.85.
Right.
And he went pretty significant money for him. He works at a gym, so he's not like caking it, like front desk at a gym. And he put like a good amount of money, like half his rent on Stafford to win MVP. And he was like, yo, who do you like? And I was like, I like Cooper Kupp, bro. I feel like Cooper Kupp was the MVP of the fucking NFL. I'm not going to pick him to win Super Bowl MVP. He had the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but who throws to him? And I predicted his stat line. I was like, yo, he could easily throw 3 touchdowns. Probably throws a pick because he always does. What if 2 of them go to Kupp and one happens to be the game winner? It's exactly how it played out.
Mm-hmm.
And Kupp on that last drive caught like 4 passes, got to end around. That's it. It was the last thing you saw. And he scored the game-winning touchdown.
Poetic.
And his stat line was like 80 for 85 and 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember he went under on his yardage, but he went over on everything else. And I would just take, if you think the Chiefs are going to win, just take them on the money line. It's a plus number. Don't get too greedy.
For sure.
Some that I learned this year too.
No, but that's a valid point, and exactly that. Like, it's honestly the most poetic ending to the season. Rashee Rice, after the KC receiver core was labeled as unusable for the first half of the season, ends up winning the MVP.
Well, the last storyline is obviously the one that everyone's been talking about.
Taylor
Swift. So for those that don't know, whether you care or don't care if she's in attendance, Colin Cowherd had a really cool video where he goes, if you're outraged by her being on TV, that says more about you.
Mm-hmm.
She appeared in the Ravens game for a whopping 25 seconds during a 3.5-hour telecast. It angers you that much, bro? Like, I don't even, they show it, whatever. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I love it. It's way better than when they show some fans and I'm like,
what about the random ass dude in a Titans jersey in that game? I had tweeted it. I tweeted like, yeah, that's mad random. There's just a dude wearing a Titans jersey in the middle of Baltimore with mad Chiefs fans around.
That's
like,
so funny.
Oh, yeah. It's like, if you're making a big deal of it, who cares? Bro, I got so much shit going on, dude, on a daily, as I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
The last thing I'm going to do is bitch and moan about someone being shown on TV.
No, I love it.
And guess what? She's the biggest fucking star on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Michael Jackson numbers she puts up.
Dude, I love TMZ. I don't know if you watch TMZ.
I don't, but I've seen clips, so I'm familiar with the show.
Yeah. You know, like they're showing these superstars everywhere they're going, like throughout their daily lives and stuff. And it's like, I watch that.
Yeah.
If you watch TMZ and you're mad that they're showing Taylor Swift, it's like, that's what you want. You want to see a good looking girl.
Mm-hmm. Great,
you know,
girl.
I'm a big proponent. You know how much I love body language and looking at random shit on the sidelines. And like, is she upset? You know what I mean? Like on the first pan over to her, is she texting? Who's she texting?
Whoa.
Antonio Brown?
Whoa. Best follow on Twitter right now as of late.
Oh my gosh. Did you
saw
see my
your video?
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, that was all time.
Yeah.
And then the people's comments underneath. It's just Antonio Brown.
He calls Big Ben his favorite cracker. Which, by the way, you call a white person a cracker, that's like one of the greatest. I think it's one of the best insults ever, bro. It's so funny.
It's
a picture. He posted a picture of him hugging Big Ben. And he's like, my favorite cracker.
Wow.
They probably talked like that to each other anyway, bro.
Yeah.
Like you say wild and outrageous shit to your friend that you wouldn't say on a public forum. But then when it leaks out to the public, they're like, oh, how dare he say that about George? It's like, bro,
no,
me and
Antonio
George
Brown
say the worst things to one another. And everybody does, right? Like, you ever see those memes where it's like if the group chat ever leaked?
Oh,
and like everyone's being filed out of security, like just like locked up.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. It's everyone. Anyone that you're friends with, like, I talk about this shit all the time. If you're a real friend of mine, I'm going to make fun of you. It's just how it is. And I want it back too.
Right.
I want it back. When I have a friend and go, yo, I want to tell you something, but you're going to laugh at me. I'm like, bro, I laugh at you all the time. What difference does it make? Come on, tell me what happened.
Right.
Who hurt you? That's it. And then we laugh it off and we move on. That's
Yes.
how I show love. That's how I
Yes.
express love. So anyway, back to Taylor Swift, right?
Yes.
Taylor Swift. People might be wondering, yo, there's a world tour. Can she make it? Can she not? So Taylor Swift has her 4th of 4 shows in Tokyo the Saturday before the game. With that being said, she could get on a private jet, which I'm sure she could afford and get her hands on, to Las Vegas right after the show and make it before the game. Her next show is not until the following Friday in Australia, which means she can go to Disney World when Travis Kelce wins Super Bowl MVP, baby.
That's
Boom!
all time.
All time.
And then,
And she has enough time to recover
yeah,
in the States,
Well,
chill
because-
with her +1, maybe get proposed
You know-
+190.
you know, this is rumors have it. This is possibly her last tour. She might be pregnant.
Whoa. Rumors, yeah?
Super Bowl baby?
Oh, then we have to hit this.
And the Super Bowl baby's name Vegas?
Plus-
Vegas Kelce.
+190. I say we hammer that.
What, will they have a kid?
No,
Together?
will he propose after the game?
Oh, fuck. No, he won't.
The script,
Oh,
baby.
no, he won't.
Super Bowl MVP. She has 4 days off. They could go to Disneyland, come back, go to the parade. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
I've
serious.
never been happier to have a 60-1 ticket.
I'm serious. Try to find it out there where Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are going to have a baby.
How about a parlay of Chiefs win, Kelce MVP, he proposes, and then they announce that she's pregnant.
before the start of next football season? Yeah.
9,000 to 1.
When you're like looking at like overall genetics for breeding, I mean, they can't fail, right?
Yeah.
Watch him be like an astronaut. Like that's what you get when you get a pop star and a top athlete. They're missing like the brainiac. So whatever,
That would be the
like
balance.
there's no way that kid fails at anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They chose good. They chose good. I wonder if Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend's going to get together with Jalen Hurts. See all those things? Like how she's like, oh, Jalen Hurts he's handsome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts definitely like some of her stories. You know, that's a full tie around to the beginning of the episode.
The poke.
Oh yeah.
The poke back.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, man.
But yeah, no, dude, that's pretty much, that's all I had for storylines.
That's all I had also, too, man. Let us know in the comments. Tweet at us, tag us, DM us, comment on some of the videos that you see. What do you think are the biggest storylines heading into next week? And then I'm sure someone's going to say something dumb at Media Row, Media Day. Someone's going to, you're going to get more and more information as you get closer.
Yeah.
And big slate of shows next week. We're doing 3 shows next week as well. We got a Super Bowl preview. We have a Super Bowl betting and prop show. And then we might have some fun interviews in studio with some people too. The who's who is going to be in town. So you never know who we might pull up to have come into the studio. But George will be here. I'll be here. At Veterans Minimum is where you can find all things Veterans Minimum. At Nick Dais 10 is where you can find me. Yeah, that is really it, man. I'm excited for next week. Check out Tiafimo Lopez if you guys haven't already. And once again, rate, review, comment, subscribe, and tag. Please tag us. We'll repost it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Where can they find you?
George Carmona, Mr. George Carmona on Instagram is where you can find me. Next week on Friday, I'm going to be going to the Gridiron Greats golfing event that's being taking place at Angel Park. It's got a whole bunch of like old athletes and NFL players. So I'm hopefully going to get an interview with Ricky Williams and Jim McMahon with the goal of them to smoke a blunt with me because it is a cannabis friendly event. That's the whole purpose. So they want to get players off of, all the Vicodin prescription pills and get them smoking weed. So that could be awesome. And if that happens, Nick, I don't know if you smoke weed, but maybe we
Never have.
If Ricky Williams offered you a blunt,
Probably
Which-
say no.
wow, straight lace.
Yeah. No, it's just not my thing, man. I like to drink. If he wants to toss back a couple cold ones.
One day,
I'm in.
we'll smoke a joint and I'll film it for your Patreon. Maybe make that a Patreon video.
The amount
that a Patreon video.
The amount of people that have said that, and every single time I've had to just like be like, nope.
Okay. Patreon fans, I'm going to catch Nick slipping one day. Just make sure you subscribe to the Patreon. But yeah, no, that's it. And as much as I love football, you best believe basketball season's around the corner. We're going to make a lot of money in NBA betting in the playoffs. So,
that's my
fired
favorite.
up.
It's one of my favorite things to bet on is NBA playoff basketball. But with that said, enjoy your weekend. No football this weekend. Catch up on the episodes if you haven't checked them out. And we'll see you guys next week.
In his element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course, be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be